It's loading. Oh, it's a loading. It's a loading. Why is it so loading? It's so loading. Who's calling me? Somebody's calling me. Hold on. Hold on, it's loading. Someone's calling. I don't know who that is, so I'm gonna not answer the phone. Oh, Internet. What's up, Internet? Happy Friday. Internet. Yeah. What's up, Internet? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. What a beautiful, lovely, rainy Friday again. Oh, man, you guys. Welcome to the bipolar weather that is Western Washington. Yesterday, 82 degrees and sunny, and today, 50 degrees or something. I don't know. And I got the camera set all weird. Let me do this. Hold on a second. Let me do this little thing here where I go like this, and then we go like clickety click click click. Zzz. There we go. Okay, good. There we are. And I've got all you lovely people in the chat here. Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay, we've got all the lovely people in the chat. There we go. Big shout out today. Oh man, my chat's gone too far. Who was first to the chat today? Charlie List was first to the chat today, and I don't have any more of the chat previous to that, but congratulations first to the chat. And let's say what's up to AJ Aquarium, Dan Squires, Bald and Dangerous, Leonie Ballantyne, Danny's Aquariums with the first super chat of the day before the show even got started. Well, thank you. He says he wasn't able to make it, but have fun. Well, thank you, Danny's Aquariums. Coming in big on a Friday, dropping down some super chat action before the show even begun. Well, thank you very much. Dan Squires is here, one of our illustrious moderators, who I think I already said hi to, and maybe I'm saying hi twice. Oh, smooth. Very, very illustriously smooth. The Turtle Girl was here and left, went to archery practice, which I have to admit, I'm kind of jealous. That's what I would like to be doing right now. I'd like to be doing some archery practice, but I don't have the facility here for that yet. And I say yet because that's right, yet. I will at some point. Magic 21 Mom is here. Jeffro's Fish Keeping. What's up, Jeffro? 54 Punchies here. Magic 21 Mom showing up. Lumpy Dog in the house. Good to see you. Alvin Alejo is here. John Gonzalez, what's up? Jason Troy, scrolling through his chat as fast as I can. Bentley Pascal is here. Chad Krotz, what's up, Chad Krotz? One Men Aquariums. Well, hey, how is everybody doing? Good to see you. Alvin Alejo with the early $1.57 super chat. Thank you. There's no question on that. Just throwing it in the old tip jar. By the way, you guys can throw in the early questions. The easiest thing to get them in and not be lost in the chat is to throw in if you wanted to throw like an early super chat or something, if you wanted to. I'm not saying you have to, but I know that from time to time people are like, hey man, I want to get my question in. I'm going to wait for the show. I try to get the early chat open just in case anybody needs to get anything in there. And also, Mr. Rumbust himself throwing in a Swedish Crones early super chat with no question on it. But I appreciate the tip jar contributions, you guys. I appreciate it 100%. It all goes back into, trying to do more shows and do more videos for you guys and stuff like that. So thank you very much. It's much appreciated, and it doesn't fall on deaf ears. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And I do have to give a big shout out to the zombie drummer because I forgot. Speaking of super chats, I forgot a super chat from Wednesday, and that's my bad. He was karate chopping his couch and relaxing back, and I totally forgot that super chat. My bad on Wednesday. It's a callback. It's a callback to Wednesday's show. If you missed Wednesday's show, go back and watch it 100 times after this is over, and I don't know. Share it out to everybody, like your grandma, your great aunt. Share it out to your great grandfather. Share it out to your uncles, your aunts, cousins, friends, enemies, frenemies, whatever. You just gotta share it out. Bracken's asking questions about Stargrass. Bracken, we will get into the Stargrass conversation when the video portion begins, which will be... I might even be inspired to do the video portion early today. I don't know. I have been considering making some slight changes to the show here and try to do the video early, so maybe I will just jump into it fairly early. We'll see. Schwisky Vision is here saying he's got the Benadryl, making him all cray-cray. Understandably, I felt like I had... I don't know. So yesterday, in personal news, hold on here. We got some personal news. I felt like I had the flu yesterday, honestly. I had like a fever. Felt like I had the flu. I thought I was going to die. I didn't die. I woke up today, and I'm not so bad. So what was that all about? I have no clue. I have no clue what that was all about. But I thought I was going to die yesterday, and then I didn't die, luckily. So I feel your pain. So yesterday I was even to the point where I took a leave, man. I was just like, ugh. So I don't know what that was all about, but I guess it's just Thursday the 26th kind of thing. You just maybe on the 26th, that's a Thursday. I feel like I'm going to die, but yeah, so that's that. I feel your pain because it's clear in my memory. Like I thought I was going to die. And Vicky was like, maybe you have allergies or something. And I don't, I've never had allergies, so I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that was, maybe it's because I'm 100 million years old now. Maybe I'm just going right off the edge and ending up with allergies that make me feel like, I don't know, like I'm going to die or something. I don't know. It's weird. That Aardvark says, I had that yesterday too. Didn't feel okay till 8 a.m. today. Well, I did get up at 5:30 like I normally do, and then I slept in an extra 45 minutes. I was like, I can't deal with this right now. I'm going back to sleep for a little bit. So maybe it was that extra 45 minutes of sleep that did it. I don't know. Mr. Chips, what do you think? Do you think it was the extra 45 with the snuggle? With the puppy snuggles? Mr. Chips is here, by the way. If anybody thinks that Mr. Chips is not here, you're wrong, because Mr. Chips is here. And he says, he's a good puppy. Are you a good puppy? Yeah, he's a good puppy. And he's here on the show with us, but he doesn't like to be on camera. I asked him about it the other day, and he was like, dude, stop. Don't videotape me, man. I don't want to be on TV, man. Even though this isn't TV, this is YouTube. I know what's going on, right? I know what's happening. But he's a dog, so, he doesn't know the difference. Swift Aquarium is here. Mateo 5001. Cello from Idaho. Good to see you. Savannah Aqualama's here. Pam Newman, Master Beta with the internet. Little Largemouth is here. Ernest Borgnino, otherwise Ernest Bergnine. RJL is here. Swap it all, homes, cars, fish, and throw in the girlfriends. I don't know what that means. That's confusing to me. Rumbust is here. Oh, so he was saying I would swap houses, no problem. Doubt it's within my powers to convince my girlfriend, though. With this emoji face. You just got to put a ring on it, and then you guys can swap houses, right? I think that's how that goes. All right. Ooh, yeah. I still don't feel that great, honestly. I just don't feel like as bad as I did yesterday. So I feel good because I don't feel as bad as I did yesterday, which I guess that's just a matter of perspective, right? Let's see. 54 Punchy went to bed at 6 a.m., got up at 1. Ooh. That's wild. I can't do that anymore. I mean, I could, but, you know, being 100 million years old, I'm like, I got to get up. The early bird gets the worm. And then I start running around and yelling, and Vicky's like, dude, what? On another personal side note, we are going to Michigan. We are going to Germany. We're going international. We got to fly through Paris. We got to do all this stuff. That is happening next week, you guys. So I want to give you guys the forewarning, the warning. The show schedule is going to be haywire. And I think Monday and Real Fish Talk are going to be the two shows next week. But just a heads up on that. And, you know, we're coming up on the end of the month here. So I got to give myself the Patreon plug, you guys. And the Patreon plug, you know, hey, we've seen a big decline this month. And all for understandable reasons. Somebody told me I sucked and they didn't want to watch anymore. Like, okay, cool. But, you know, that's the way that it goes sometimes. But, you know, but I got to talk about the Patreon. If you don't know what the Patreon is, it's how we are essentially crowdfunding being able to produce these shows, come on here and avail the time to at least come on and have the conversation and stuff. You know, the reality of the world is it takes a lot of time to produce this show, even though it is only 2 hours long. It does take a fair bit of time to put everything together and get all this stuff going. It is quite a bit of time that goes into the production and all that stuff. So that's what the Patreon is for. That's what the Patreon's all about. If this is something that you like and you want to help support it and you want to be one of those people that's like, yeah, man, I was there back in the beginning, you know, you could be one of those people that is on the Patreon, and it is a once a month thing. So you chip in once a month. You could be like $1. You could be like a $5. We got some people that are super generous, all the way up to, you know, like $50 a month and stuff like that. I'm not saying you have to be at that level or anything like that, because I don't have tiers or any of that weird stuff. It's just like, hey, man, if you got $1 or you got $5 or you got something like that, you could throw it in. And it's something that you could help to contribute to doing this stuff. And recently, I've had a lot of people asking me long term what my plan is with the Patreon, because they're like, you know, a lot of people have had questions that they're like, whoa, you're making the Patreon money. And, you know, as you guys know, I leave the number up there. You guys know exactly how much money comes in every month. Do you want to go do something else? Okay. Come on. Oh. Need to go, bud. I don't know. He had Mr. Chips felt like he needed to go do something. I don't know. But I've been getting the questions because there's like, hey, there's this much money, and you know, your channel's getting bigger. You're gonna get more AdSense or this, that, or the other thing. I always want to maintain full disclosure with you guys that my YouTube channel is not very big, even though I love you guys and I appreciate all the subscribers and everybody that like tunes in and everything, it's just a reality of the world. My channel ain't that big. You know what I mean? So the AdSense, it really only is, when I looked it up yesterday, it was $180 or something. So, you know, that where I'm at right now, that's how much that adds up to. Almost 800 videos up. Sorry, 750 videos posted equates to $180 a month. So, you know, just so some people out there that are like, that guy's making tons of cash. That's just how much it is. You know what I mean? So, you know, as you guys know, I like to stay full disclosure, and everybody on the Patreon just crushes whether YouTube is gonna pay out or not. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a reality. Even the super chatters today will already blow YouTube out of the water, and I thank you guys for that. Speaking of those, I should address a couple of these here before I get too far behind. We've got a £2 super chat from Ashley Taylor, saying 5 p.m. I hope. It's not 5 p.m. yet, but we'll get there. We'll get to the relax time when Victoria gets home, and we'll be able to chill out. There is a new series, not a new series. Wait. Season. That's the word I'm looking for. There's a season 4 of Bosch. If you guys haven't seen that show, Bosch, I feel like it's like a better crime drama show, and it's on Amazon. It's an Amazon Prime now, so you can actually just watch all 4 seasons. Like, if you wanted to go crazy and watch them all, like, all in a row, you could watch them all. I like the cut of it. It's kind of, you know, it's like a crime drama, like, you know, the detective guy's going to bust some criminals, and just kind of enjoy, like, all the twists and weird turns of it. So, fairly good. Cinematically speaking, I don't think the camera work is super impressive or anything like that. It's just sort of straightforward shot, like, here's what's happening. But we do like that Bosch show, and a new season came out, so we're checking that out. And people wonder how I've seen so many shows and so many movies and stuff. Our day is segmented in a way that, you know, I get up at 5:30, I work throughout the day. Then we do a dinner, then we do some more work, and then we normally will watch like an episode right before we go to bed of something. So that's how we work our way through stuff so quickly. You know, it's like, you know, it's like somebody asked me a while ago, they're like, you know, like, I don't understand how you've seen so much stuff. It's like, I put the last hour of the day so that Vicky and I can hang out. Schwisky says, if you have time for TV, you have time for gaming, Joel. No, I don't. I don't actually have time for TV or time for gaming, because when I watch like that last, I watch an hour of TV, or like an hour of a program at the end of the day, I watch it with Vicky. So if I was actually just gaming, I'd be by myself with like a headset on. So no, I don't actually have time for gaming. But you know, I would like to be able to do gaming or something like that, but I just have so many other things I got to get done. I just don't have time for it. You know, I really don't. It just doesn't work out, to being able to dedicate the amount of time that, gaming requires. You know, I just don't have like a 5 or a 6 hour block out of my day. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. This is just not there. Schwisky's asking, can we watch Avengers together on Sunday? Actually, yes, we have tickets for the Avengers on Sunday, at 8:20 a.m. We will be going to see the Avengers on Sunday, and we have, like I said, we have tickets for 8:20 a.m. Sunday. So we are going to So we're going to be watching the new Avengers movie for sure. We have our assigned seats with the layback, recliner couch thingies, and so we'll be checking that out, and pretty excited to check that out. It looks nuts. So we'll be doing that, and we'll be going to the movies in the morning. And it's pretty awesome. I appreciate nowadays that movie theaters are actually open early enough for me to go on a Sunday. We have a little brunch, or maybe we have brunch after. But it's just a fun weekend thing to be able to do. And I'm really appreciative of it. I'm really appreciative that I'm able to do that. It's good times. I got time for it because I have to. And it's good times to go out with Vicky, and, so we'll go see a movie. We try to go watch a movie at like 8:20 p.m. It's not going to work out that great. Probably fall asleep. Probably fall asleep at the theater. Oh, it's dark in here, and it's warm. But we do have some super chats to hit here real quick. We got one from 54 Punchy saying, "LOL, I am twice your age, Joel." Well, if you're 200 million, then that's impressive. That's impressive. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. I don't think you're twice my age. If you're twice my age, you'd be well into retirement. But maybe you are. Maybe 54 Punchy is. Maybe you are into retirement. I don't know. Confusing. Priscilla MK Art with a $2 super chat saying, "Eat a real bratwurst in Germany and sauerkraut." I guarantee you, I will be eating some bratwurst. That is going to happen. One of the weird things about navigating this Germany trip, I can already tell, is going to be a little bit awkward. Me being a sober guy, apparently, like, everybody that's going wants to go get drinks or whatever. So I'm having to narrowly navigate the, that's all good, kind of situation. Like, hey, do you have, is there a good coffee place around? Do you guys like water? You guys into water? No? All right. Although I've been navigating that awkwardness for a very long time, and it doesn't really bother me to hang out with people if they're like having beers and drinks or whatever. It's not a big deal to me, but I've noticed that a lot of people have brought up the let's go get beers or whatever, and it's like, oh, no. I'm good. I'll go out and look around and shoot some video and take some pictures and stuff. Oh, speaking of taking some pictures, I was kind of super stoked to be able to try and shoot some macro stuff when I was over in Germany, but I just haven't been able to get it together to be able to order that lens. I was going to get pretty excited for it. I was honestly pretty excited for it, but I just haven't been able to put it together for that lens. So I'm having to sort of arrange my photography gear a little bit differently than I was anticipating, and not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing because I think it's going to motivate me to be able to get some different shots and stuff. So not a bad deal altogether, but I'm also trying to evaluate whether I want to take only the 6D with me or the 80D, or if I want to take both. That's the thing that I'm trying to figure out, if I want to take both or not. That would be... I'm trying to make up my mind right now if I want to take both cameras with me, because I'll be able to take my camera bag and not check that, because I can always just check my clothes and stuff like that. I'll be honest with you guys that I have had suitcases or bags or stuff like that gone missing from flights and stuff. So I will not be checking my camera bag, but I will be checking my clothes bag probably. And worst case scenario, if I end up in Germany and my clothing bag gets lost, they probably have clothes in Germany, right? I'm guessing. I'm guessing that they have like clothes and clothing stores, right, in Germany. So, you know, I do know that the airline lost a bag once, and they were going to give us like Visa gift cards or whatever, or something like that. I forget what it was. It was like a Visa gift card or whatever against like the replacement of the clothing if it didn't show up in a certain amount of time. They were like, yeah, we've got like some kind of 12-hour window or whatever. Like there's a certain, I don't know, it's probably it's probably completely different airline to airline. But if they had lost it, they would be like, well, here's a voucher basically to go get something and put pants on tomorrow or whatever. So I'm not super concerned if my clothing gets lost, but there is no replacing all the camera gear, you know what I mean? So I'm going to keep that high and tight, if you know what I'm saying. I'm going to keep it with me. Keep an eye on it. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going out of my sight. So, but I'm still trying to make up a decision whether or not I want to take both cameras with me, because I could probably get more, certainly time-lapse-y stuff. Like I can set down the 80D and not be like insanely stressed out about whether or not it maybe like gets stolen or something like that, even though that obviously is a stressor. But I could probably set that camera up like, you know, around people that could watch it or whatever. And worst case scenario, if it got like knocked over or maybe broken, like I could get it repaired or whatnot. But the 6D, I think I'm just going to have around my neck most of the time. Like it's going to stay with me. But I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to take both cameras or just the one. But I'm leaning towards taking the extra body with me, so that, you know, like I said, I could set up like some other shots or some exterior shots and stuff while I can still be handheld with the 6D wherever I go. And Karen's saying, do you really need both? Well, honestly, I'm not going to say this is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of trip, but this is for certainly my first time into Germany and Paris, actually. So I would like to document it as well as possible. So I think it's in my best interest to probably take both. You know what I mean? To take both cameras with me. So I'm thinking I'm going to take both just for that reason, that like, well, you know, my bag will be a little bit heavier. My bag will be a little bit heavier, but I think it's worth it to bring both. You know what I mean? Swift Aquarium said, my choice for Germany trips was a full-frame DSLR and a smaller point-and-shoot. Yeah, my 6D is full-frame, and my 80D is crop sensor. And so I don't really, I mean, I have a point-and-shoot. You know, I have like the M2 that I could bring with me, but the M2 needs an adapter. It takes different batteries. So there's like some ins and outs that I don't necessarily want to deal with on the road, even though like this camera it's a pretty good little pocket camera, especially because like, I mean, you could fix this in just a little tiny sling bag, but it does take different batteries than the SD does, whereas my 80D takes the same battery. So I plan to just pack 5 of the same battery, and then I could just have then I just only have one type of battery to really worry about and keep organized, like while I'm in a whole different country, you know what I mean? So, but I'm thinking I'm going to take both with me. I figure like worst case scenario, like maybe my bag's killing me or something, like it's just too heavy, but I think that like worst case scenario, I could leave one like in the hotel room or something like that. Like I could just leave it there. I don't think our hotel room is like super far from so Inner Zoo is a trade show. I was totally lacking on exactly what Inner Zoo was, but it's a trade show, so it's mostly vendors. It's like the vendor reps, along with, whatever higher up people out there in the companies and stuff, and then buyers. So it's like people that buy from PetSmart or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing whatever out there. But it's a trade show. It's not like open to the public, like all the fans are going to be there or whatever. Although I have had contact that there will be some fans there, which is going to be awesome, because they happen to be going to the trade show, which I'm all for. It's going to be so cool. I've gotten a little bit of a line on hopefully meeting some of the European plant growers, which I do have to say, I'm like, I'm kind of over the moon to like meet some of those guys. I'll probably just be standing there like, so what are you guys doing? Like, you got, oh, what's that? But that's kid in a candy store. That's cotton in my mouth. That's cotton in my mouth time, and just I want to listen to what these guys are up to, what their new projects are, like what's going on. So I'm pretty stoked for that. That is very, very interesting to me. Not to mention, like, a lot of we'll probably get a chance to see some new products. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be able to film and what I'm not going to be able to film. So, realistically, we're gonna have to find out when I get back exactly what I was able to film or not. Obviously, I don't want to be filming anybody that doesn't want to be filmed, like, and accidentally film somebody, that doesn't want to, have their likeness, like, on YouTube or something like that, because that is a big deal. It is a big deal that people don't want their stuff. They don't want whatever they're doing or whatever out there, so we got to be respectful for that. And then there probably are some companies that'll be like, no, I don't want you to put this out there because this hasn't been released to the public yet. That might come up, But, it all just kind of depends on who they are or what's going on. Schwisky just got a 72mm ND filter in the mail, opened it, and it was a cheap Chinese 48mm filter. Someone returned this to Amazon and pretty much committed fraud. So mad right now because I've been waiting. Man, that sucks. Sorry to hear that, Jimmy. I've only got 77mm ones here. Sorry. I don't have any 72s, I don't think I have any 72s, I think I only have 77s. Johnny Zelaya, I think I've been saying his name wrong. Hopefully I'm getting it right now. Saying, what's up, Joel? Just watched the Avengers and now watching this. Winning. I like it. We got our Avengers tickets for 8 a.m. Sunday morning. So we're going to be going to check out the Avengers. Savannah just saw the Avengers. I'm excited for it. I hope it's good. I realistically haven't been disappointed. I really haven't. I don't think so. And I think a big part of it is that I go in with like not a lot of expectations. You know what I mean? Like, it's a superhero movie. I don't think I'm going to really learn too many life lessons. Well, I guess too many life lessons that I hadn't already learned from reading comic books. You know what I mean? So, and I think there are some life lessons in there for sure, but I don't think I expect it to be like too over the top, like emotional or deep thought or anything like that. It's definitely going to just probably be some things exploding and that kind of stuff, which I'm all game for when I know that's what I'm going to be getting, which I generally am pretty well satiated with that for what I'm looking for, you know what I mean? So let's see. At Holly Miller, clean it out best you can. Let's see here. Looks like we have a fish-related question. We're definitely talking about Holly Miller. Thought about a line or two. Let's see. I gotta find it. Where'd it go? I have a giant fiberglass planter that I wanted to make into a pond. My problem is that it has bolts on the bottom. Will that be a deal breaker for making it a pond? Can I seal them? Yes, you actually can seal them. My recommendation would be to actually just get a one-piece pond liner. You can actually just order the sheet. It's not felt backed, but it's rubber that has felt in it, so it's like made into a sheet. I would get a pond liner that would fit in it and do that way. That's been, it's not the cheapest thing in the world. It's not super expensive though either. And it will take a little bit of time, but it will be the best thing to do for a big giant, like weird wonky shape or anything like that. There are some crazy, like two-part things that you could mix up and put in there and try this and try that. But the pond liner itself has been the best route that I've been able to find. Let me see if I can't grab you a link from my list here. A pond liner, a pond liner. How big is this pot? Here's the ones that there it is. There's the list. Let's get the text link. Will it let me Amazon? Will it let me Amazon this stuff? So here's one right here. Let me see if the link will pop in. Oh, wow. YouTube lets us do it now. So there's the Amazon link right there and I've used these total pond liners, these 7-foot by 10-foot ones. They're sort of in between awesome and cheap. They're sort of just right in the middle there, but they are the cheapest ones that I have been able to find that seem at a reasonable price. Right now it's listed at $34.97 for the 7-foot by 10-foot one, which is considerably cheaper than a lot of the other products out there. They're not the thickest, they're not the most gangster or anything like that, but they certainly have worked out. As long as you do install them properly, they will hold water from, going out. It will stay in the pond, and it will work. So that's one I would recommend. Like I said, there are more expensive, better ones out there, but that's one that comes in at the price point where you're like, well, look, I'm gonna dump water in here. I just want not water to go out, right? So they come in pretty well. Rumbust with a super chat coming all the way out from Sweden, my guy. Sweden, my guy. Says, tracking info says your present is delivered, which I believe is correct, Mr. Rumbust. He sent me a birthday present. I don't know what it is. It's still a secret, but I did get a message earlier that it has arrived at the Aquarium Co-op. I hope it is not perishable, because I will not be up there until Tuesday, because I am not making that drive until Tuesday, mainly because I have no other reason to drive up there, but I am driving up there on Tuesday, so I will gladly pick that up, Mr. Rumbus. I don't know what it is. I still don't know. No one has spoiled the surprises or anything like that. So I wouldn't worry about that too much, but they did tell me that, hey, there was a package here. And I think they said it was from Rumpust or something. Oh, my gatos, my guys. Thomas Byer coming in, a new Patreonizer during the show. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh. Thomas Byer coming in as a new Patreonizer during the show. Thank you very much, Thomas B. I appreciate it. Steve Foy with a £2 super chat saying, do you like wearing leather shorts? I have worn leather shorts. I did not appreciate their musty nature, I guess would be the best way to put it. They're kind of sweaty and kind of musty. Did not enjoy it. Did not stick with it long term. It's kind of a joke. But, yes. So I guess I don't like wearing leather shorts. But I have, and so I guess I explained why I didn't like wearing them. Jeffro's fish keeping, excuse me, with a $5 super chat saying, "What's up, Joel and the Fish Fam? Anyone else in the Fish Fam barbecuing tonight? I know I sure am. Also, Joel, I thought you had the flu. You sound better. I feel terrible, honestly, yesterday. Today, I feel so much better than I did yesterday, but I don't feel great. So I guess, no, sorry, I said that all weirdly. Okay, I felt terrible yesterday. I don't feel terrible today, but I don't feel great today. But in comparison to yesterday, I feel good. So it's all just a matter of, like, perspective. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel great, but compared to yesterday, I feel great. So I had some, I don't know. That's something, something got me. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was that got me. I don't know what it is that got me, but it certainly did get me, and not 100% sure what it was, but it got on top of me, and then yeah, I felt I was awful yesterday. Ugh. I couldn't hardly do anything. Whew, luckily, I do have a little. I have some ice cream. I have some ice cream in the freezer, so I think I'm doing fine. I'm not that worried. Rumbus says, "No problem, not perishable, but don't go to Germany without looking at it." Oh no, I'll definitely be on it. Like I said, I'm definitely grabbing it on Tuesday. It's kind of a 2-hour drive from here to up there, so I definitely have to think about if I'm going to be making that drive or not. And you guys, I've been shooting video and trying to edit as many as I can while I'm gone to not leave this giant void, meanwhile, also making all the shows. So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe I'm just kind of stressed out, and maybe that's why I got, maybe that's my problem. I don't know. Maybe that's the deal. I'm just kind of stressed out or whatever, and it got the better of me. Jeff Rose saying he got the shrimp bug from moving all those shrimp. I had to get them out of the second chamber in the sump. It's cool with them being in the first chamber. I don't care if they're in the first chamber. In the second chamber, I don't like them being in there. But those are definitely the ones that get in there. Once they get into the second chamber, sometimes they get hammered and hammered by going back up through the pump. Sometimes they do survive the pump trip, but oftentimes they get murdered on their way back up. So I just try to intervene, even though I have something that stops them from going into the third chamber. I have to net them out of the second chamber, which is actually really easy. It's not that bad. I can normally get like 30 or 40, just get the net in there. Well, I got a bunch of them. Put them in the thing. So it's actually not that bad. It's just there was a ton of babies in there. I think a couple of shrimp gave birth in the second chamber because there was just a ton of babies up in that second chamber, which is a little bit weird. No, says Stargrass is like cancer. My tank has been undergoing chemo to no avail for months now. Okay, I don't know what that's all about. That's just weird. That's just a weird comment. Are you trying to get rid of Stargrass? I don't know. I'm trying to. Spoiler alert. I'll be getting rid of the pygmy chainsword that I have in the 240. I've made a decision to move on. It's boring me, you guys. I'm sorry. It's boring me, and it keeps sending runners into other stuff. So it's like, not only is it boring, but it also is like invading other space. So I've made the decision. The Pygmy Chainsword is coming out, and moving some of the Stargrass today is the beginning of when that's going to happen. Phil says, I need to sit in front of an aquarium and watch fish. Just watch. Stress relief. Yeah, I don't know, man. To be brutally honest with you guys, I don't know how relaxing it is to just look at my fish tanks. I have to like stick my face up against one and like just look in there. So I can't just like lean back in my fish room anymore because I start to see projects that I got to do, you know? But I will admit, like the 150-gallon shrimp tank, if I just get like, I mean, not an inch away from it or anything crazy like that, but I can just sit like about a foot away from the 150 and I can't really see. I mean, I can see stuff out of my peripheral, you know, but it's just, I can just kind of focus and like just kind of look in there. That does help, and that is a nice stress relief. That's kind of, I mean, that's not my meditation, but that's sort of how I get prepared for my meditation, you know, when that's going down. Steve Foy with a £2 super chat saying, I do, but I use talcum powder. All right, so he's using the talc powder with the leather shorts. I like that. I'm not a huge shorts guy. I don't wear shorts all that much anymore. You know, I don't know. I think I spent so many years in kitchens and stuff like that where you have to wear long pants. I just am so used to wearing long pants. I wear pants almost all the time now. But Vicky does turn my old work pants into shorts. So maybe I'll get rock and rolling more on the shorts action with that, because I do have the old work pants now that are short pants. So those are definitely going to come in handy during the hot weather this summer, and I won't necessarily have to throw the talc powder on, if you know, to the undercarriage. Groomer Girl says, I'm here, let the bells ring, I'm here. If anyone is around 50, they'll remember this character, or this cartoon character. Shoot, you got me, you stumped me on that one. I can't think of who that is. Vexing Cat with a 689 super chat says, advice, twice from the same seller. The fish have had, Camellanus worms. Should I tell them or just not order any more from them? Ooh. Okay. I would say, in my advice with this, in this situation, I think almost any supplier would certainly appreciate a genuine letter. Right, I think any kind of genuine communication with them would be a good thing, and I think if you're talking about any fish seller that is really, really, really tuned into paying attention to their fish and wanting to send out quality, I think first and foremost, they would be super excited they wouldn't be excited about this situation, but they would at the very least be appreciative and want to know what is going on. If that is what they're sending out, they probably don't want to send that out. I mean, at the very least, they probably want to preserve their business, let alone, you know, take into account they probably don't want to, you know, sick fish going out, all that kind of stuff. They shouldn't want to do that. So they probably would appreciate communication, and then I would make my determination on how they, you know, respond to, and honestly, if you come at it in a real constructive way, and they're totally irrational, just like some crazy guy who was yelling at me on Facebook earlier today, totally irrational, crazy person, and you know, meanwhile, that was in relation to, we're just trying to applaud the peace accord between North Korea and South Korea, which is an amazing moment. And if you guys You should write this down on your calendar. I'm totally taking a sidebar here, and I'm going to talk about this for a second. This is an amazing moment. The peace accord between North Korea and South Korea is huge. It's a big deal. It may or may not be a big deal to a lot of the countries around there in the world. It's not going to change what's going on necessarily. But to me, this is an amazing moment for humanity. You know what I mean? Just two countries that have been at war. I mean, they've been shooting at each other actively for 68 years with an active war zone, a demilitarized zone, guys with guns pointing at each other for forever. Some people, the longest they've ever known. They've been at war since I've been alive. And it is, it's a big deal. It's just a big deal for those people. Okay? It might not be a big deal for us, but it is a huge thing to me to see that at the very least, the people in South Korea and North Korea don't need to live in a time where they think things are going to explode, somebody could get shot. How many family members still live on the other side, and you don't even get you can't even have any communication with them or anything. You're just born on this side, and they're on that side. It's nuts, and it's amazing to see that. It's amazing to see them just say like, all right, we got better things to do, which is. It's an amazing day. So anyhow, back to what I was talking about with Vexing Cat was, if somebody was selling fish and they were sending them out sick, they would want to know if they were a reasonable place. Now, if they came back as unreasonable, then you would know. Okay, well, I'm not going to want to do. I'm not going to want to do any. Oh, what's the word? I totally lost track of what was going on here. Oh man. But what was I talking about? Yeah, the seller wouldn't want to be sending stuff out. If they came back as completely irrational, then you probably wouldn't want to buy anything from them anymore. Then I would make a serious consideration if you wanted to escalate and like let anybody know or whatever. I think honestly I would just give them a low rating and just leave it at that. If they came back negatively, if they wanted to make it right, if they at least had concern and stuff, then I would honestly write maybe a review at that point and just go, hey, I got the fish that they wanted, that they said they were selling. They came here with, they came here with a parasite, and that happens. And they wanted to make it right. Blah 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 blah. You could give in like an honest appeal. But if they're just like really negative people, I would just leave it at give them a low rating, and then just move on and not order from them anymore. Let's see. How do I get algae to start growing on algae scrubber for a saltwater tank? Leave the light on 24 hours a day, and it will happen. It will happen. It will come around, and you will get there. I would just leave it on 24 hours a day on the algae scrubber. It will happen. Don't worry. It just takes a little bit of time. Let's see here. We have a super chat from Mr. Skinner, which is JJSKN93. Mr. Skinner is here. It says £2 super chat. Say get some R&R, Joel. I ain't got time for that. I'll get some sleep tonight and I'll be fine. I'll get there. I get some emergency too. I think I'm gonna take some more of that emergency vitamin stuff that will help out a little bit. Get me over the top. Get me over the top. But in the meantime, let's go to the video portion of the show Wait, that's not the video portion. We gotta click the other thing. Okay. Video portion of the show. Let's not have it at the end on accident like we did before. Right? All right. Starglass. Oh, wait. What is that? What did I see here? I see my weekend life. That's my lady. That's my lady. If you guys don't know, my weekend life is my lady, my lady pants, and she changed her name to my weekend life so that it's super confusing for everybody. But that's her, so it's good to see her. That's my lady. She was texting me about trying to go get some lobster or something. I think she wants to go get lobster tonight. Which is it's a big deal. Sorry, she's texting me also. She sent me a whole bunch of texts. Yes, we should probably go get sushi tonight, babe. That's what I think we should do. So if you heard that, then you heard that. But we're on to the video portion. And all right, stargrass, as people are sometimes confused by this plant. Heteranthera zosterifolia. That's the part I can never forget. I always remember the zosterifolia because it cracks me up. Stargrass coming out of South America, got a pretty wide pH range, got a pretty wide temperature range that it can handle, and it's a pretty fun little plant. Now, one of the coolest things about it, and my favorite thing about it, is that it is very, very, very bright green. I love how bright green it is. It shines. It shines, my bros. The fish squad, the fish fam. The Oceaneers, it shines. It is super bright. Bentley Pascal was here 2 weekends ago, and he was like, "Man, look how bright that is." And you know it's goofy. I should have grabbed some out for him. But it can be a bit of a demanding plant, and the reason for that is that it does grow pretty rapidly once it gets going. Once it's established, it starts growing pretty quickly, and there are things that you have to do. There are things that you have to do with it in order to maintain it to keep it going really nicely. And there's Bentley right there saying, I need a chunk of that. Yes, I do have a bunch right now in my sump. Bentley, if you need to come by and get some, just let me know. This is a great plant. It shows up so vibrantly, but there is maintenance that you do have to do to it. The very first part of the maintenance is right here. What I'm doing is I'm actually just taking out the entire plants that are growing into areas that I don't want them to grow to. But one of the things that is a little bit goofy about this plant is it will continue to grow up taller, and it keeps getting up higher and higher, but it kills out all of its leaves and the beauty down below, because the top leaves will starve out the bottom of the plant, because stargrass is actually a stem plant. It is confusing that it's a stem plant, but it actually is a stem plant, even though it does spread out like this and sort of occupy the space, sort of like how a carpeting plant does. Personally, let's see, Devin Peppers is asking, what is the best beginner carpeting plant? This, I would honestly say, is one of them. This isn't a hugely demanding plant, even though it does need a good amount of light. The more fertilizers, light, and CO2 that you give this stuff, like the crazier, faster it'll grow. I think people that have been following the channel for a long time can remember that I did start out, I only had like 1 or 2 shreds of this after the move, you know. I grew those in. I've moved some to some other tanks over the last year, and I would consider this to be a great beginner plant if you can actually find it. Now, here's the big problem. This stuff does melt and doesn't do great growing above water. This is actually a plant that has to be submerged all the time. It does not like growing above water. And when it does, it really converts basically into a completely different plant and then generally dies off. So there are not a lot of places actually farming this stuff because I'm sure a lot of you know that most of the aquatic plant nurseries out there, the people that grow that stuff, they all grow it above water because it does grow much quicker above water. It also has no algae on it, all that kind of stuff. For the nurseries to be able to grow mass quantities, it's the best way to do it. And so that's just how they have a tendency to go about their business. So this is a weird one that is hard to find, like, available from like an online seller or something. You can find it. It's not impossible, but it is a weird one to be able to find, like let's say I was over at the aquariumcoop.com, right? Like, let's say I was over at Aquarium Co-op. I don't think they carry this plant anyhow. But if I was there, if you find it for sale, it's almost always sold out when you actually go to try and put it in your shopping cart. You know, so it almost is always sold out because it does have to be grown underwater. But it is a great plant, and it does spread out. It's very vibrantly green, and its actual maintenance isn't that difficult. You just actually have to do it. It's kind of a pain, but you just have to do it. Let's take a little sidebar here with Andy70 VW Bus. Is asking, carpet plant question. I'm trying to get a glosso carpet going, but the roots seem to keep rooting off, and then all the stems float up. What am I doing wrong? Let me think here. But the roots seem to keep rotting off, and then the stems float up. Oh. My first question there would be, what type of substrate are you using? This almost feels like you have an overcompacted substrate that could probably be choking out the roots a little bit. That'd be my guess, is that you probably have sand in for the substrate, and that's what could be going on. Other than that, if you are just having roots completely die off, I would consider what's going on with your potassium. I would look into that and then see what's happening. If that's like super low, then I would look into it. I would look into that. JH Aquatics is asking if I would sell some of that plant. Yeah, I have to check if I can send it to the U.S. Virgin Islands, though. I know that JH Aquatics lives on an island, and I might not be able to send it to you. So I don't know. But Joseph Harden, my guy, I probably would be inclined to send it to you, you know? What is this? Huh, weird. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm getting all these notifications over here. There's something going on. What is this? What's happening? Oh my gosh! Alvin's Aquariums just added their pledge to $5. Well, thank you, Alvin. That's super appreciative, man. It's huge, dude. All right. Let's see. Wasabi Tsunami use laterite base when sand is on top. Yeah, that's a good point. The easiest availability for a laterite type substrate would be the what is it called? Seachem red. What is that called? Fluorite, right? Hold on. I'm trying to remember. Let me see here. Where did this go? Did you mean what? What are you doing? Come on now. What is this thing doing? So you want the fluorite red is the one that you want. Seachem makes it. Let me, sorry, I was trying to find a link for you. I was trying to find a link for you. All right, here it is. I've got it. Boom. Let me paste that in there. Pew. All right, there's the fluorite red, which is one that I have grown a lot of Glosso in fluorite red, along with fluorite black, but fluorite red is the one that it always responded the best to as far as Glosso specifically. I would consider getting some fluorite red. Maybe you have that. I don't know. I haven't seen any comments from you. Substrate is Eco-Complete. I can't imagine that Eco-Complete would be that far off from what is going on. So I would, but I would also, with the roots rotting like that, I don't know. I would check potassium and micros and see what's going on. I wonder if you might actually not have Glosso. I wonder if you might not have Glosso. You might have a different plant. I would double check. I would double check if you actually have Glosso. Look at it. Look up some Google searches of some specifically really close-up shots and double check that you actually have Glosso. You might have a different plant that is a terrestrial plant. That's the other thing I would check too, that you might have a plant that's supposed to be living up above water. There are a lot of, when I say there are a lot of plants that look like Glosso, there are a lot of plants that look like Glosso. Not to say that anybody selling them sold them to you on purpose if it's the wrong plant. If you could also have the wrong plant. That's the thing that I would also look into, is look very specifically if you have the right one. I know sometimes there are mistakes are made, and sometimes things get sold for the wrong stuff, and I would look into that for sure, and just make sure that you actually have Glosso. JH Aquatics says, you can send me anything. I get plants from Corey, Seagrass, and Imperial Tropical. I need to check if I can send that specific plant to you, is what I'm saying. As a person who's going to stick a plant into a box and send it somewhere in the mail, I need to verify whether I can or cannot ahead of time. That is the big issue, not whether or not I can mail things to the Virgin Islands. I know I can. But I would remind everybody out there that's listening to this, if you are going to send plants to somebody, to make sure to check the invasive species list of the location that you're sending it to. That is important. I know that I often hear from people that are like, well, I got away with it once. I'm like, okay, well, speeding is still illegal, and people get away with it sometimes. That doesn't mean that it's suddenly legal just because you got away with it, you know? So I always try to check where I'm sending stuff to, if it is on their invasive species or not, because the last thing I want to do is either pay a fine or, like, get into trouble. You know what I mean? But hopefully that, Andy, hopefully that helps you out. Oh, and speaking of that, Vicky Toria says she ordered plants from Mexico, and it just got a letter that they incinerated it. Sometimes that happens with shipping plants and stuff. Skinner is asking, will Stargrass compete with other plants much? I've already got Tiger Lotus and Crypt duking it out. Tiger lotus will almost always be affected by other plants in the aquarium. So tiger lotus, you'll probably still have an issue. This stargrass is actually growing right up against some crypts, and they'll just grow together, which is unfortunate, but they won't starve each other out. The crypts, even if the stargrass grows up over the crypts, which I have seen happen, the crypts will still survive because the crypts are supposed to be in pretty non-lit areas. You know what I mean? Just ambient, like kind of what we would consider to be dark, but they the crypts will be fine. You will just have to trim the stargrass out of there if it grows up over the crypts. But stargrass doesn't have a tendency to outcompete other plants that much, but it does have a tendency to sort of adapt to the situational growing a bit. Like if you don't have any real free floating free-floating fertilizers and stuff like that, they will have a chance to kind of get starved out. But I wouldn't stress out about it too much at that point because if you are adding a little bit of fertilizer, then the stargrass will just keep going. Stargrass doesn't need a ton of stuff for it to work. But let's catch up with a couple other questions here. Oh, we've got a 10-pound super chat. We got a 10-pound super chat from Ernest Borgnano, saying, "Hey man, my banana plant has started flowering for the first time with this plant. What happens next?" And so a banana plant is a tuber. If you guys don't know that, it is actually just a tuber. It's little tubes are the tubers. They're like little tiny potatoes, you know? So it'll go up, it'll flower. I don't really find banana plants to be all that entertaining myself. Just a personal preference, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a personal preference. Like, I think they're cool because they're a plant, but I just find aquascaping with them to be a little bit ridiculous, and I don't know. I'm just not super enthusiastic about them. But they will flower and split and do all that, and there's not too much there's nothing really bad that's going to happen from it flowering. Unless you have like. Nah, you don't really have anything. It'll just flower and the flower will die off. It's not really that big of a deal, but always be sure to get some good pictures of the flowering if you ever do. Get some up close shots of the old flowering, and always be sure to get those and save them for later and like put them up on Instagrams or whatever, right? And there you go. I don't know. There just isn't that much after the fact with the banana plant. With the banana plant doing that action. Andy says Anacaris is illegal in New York State. Well, I think people that are selling it maybe in New York State should probably stop selling it then if it's illegal. Let's see. Ed's Fish says, and water lettuce. Wow. Water hyacinth is my local watch list to be banned as an invasive species. Probably. Megan Ness with a $1.99 super chat saying, excited to see the gang at the American Live Bearers Association 2018. Well, I'm excited to be there. We're going to Michigan first, then we're going to Europe. We're going to be off in Europe and hopefully get to see some fun people out in Europe, and I look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's coming up very, very soon, so I'm excited to be there too. Oh, Bentley Pascal's getting ready to battle the traffic monster. Good luck. All right. Well, hopefully that explains some of the stuff about Stargrass and stuff like that. Oh, I realized like I was almost off camera. Smooth. Check it out. What up? He's coming in crazy. All right. So we're heading over to the Patreon questions from this week. The week of April 27th, 2018. Oh, man. I clicked it. I did it, you guys. Whoops. Now I ruined it. I ruined the whole show because now I got to scroll back down here. I accidentally clicked on it. That's my bad. All right. Edel Gonzalez wrote in, no more green water. By the way, my new YouTube is too real for you, tube. Thanks for the help, peeps. Glad to hear that. Edel was battling some green water. Edel was battling some green water action in this nice-looking bow front here. He's got some good-looking plants, got some good-looking stuff going on, and we luckily advised him to be able to do some small water changes, and guess what? Over a little bit of time, green water gone, plants are winning again, and it worked out great. I'm glad to see that, and it looks fantastic, and, you know, when I see other people's angels, I almost think, wow, maybe I should get some. But then I just think, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe one of these days. One of these days, maybe. I don't know. Let's see here. All right. Ollie H. wrote in on the 23rd. I like lots of things curly. Fries hair, but not the leaves on my Ludwigia. Local water is liquid shock, TDS 350, pH 7.5. GH and KH is on the max on test strips. Add extra iron, magnesium, and George Farmer's The Aquascaper Complete Fert. Nitrate is at 40. Lighting is for 14-watt LED T8 tubes. The tank's at 55, but it's 25 inches tall. Also running CO2. Other plants are doing good. Monte Carlo carpet is short and lush. Makes me think it's not the lighting. The only other thing that's not doing well is some stargrass that's going a bit black on the tips. Okay. So Ludwigia and stargrass have the same kind of deal here. They both have the same kind of deal, is that they're both kind of looking for a little bit softer water, in the fact that you just kind of need to take your TDS down a little bit. With that much light, the Monte Carlo is going to do fantastic, and that hard water, your Monte Carlo is going to do great. As you guys have noticed, I have difficulties with Monte Carlo, but I don't have difficulties with stargrass or Ludwigia. The main reason for that is that I have my TDS is almost 0, you know what I mean? Ours is at like 50 here that comes out of the tap. So I'm not battling that kind of high pH and a ton of minerals and stuff, whereas Monte Carlo is loving that. That is the environment for Monte Carlo. So I need to bring my ferts up, my calcium up, my magnesium up, stuff like that, and get it up to be a little bit harder in my tank so that the Monte Carlo doesn't get starved out. But it's all a balancing act when I'm putting plants in tanks with the other stuff. When I've got them mixed together, you know what I mean? It's kind of a battle of trying to find the happy medium between the two. But that is gonna be the big issue. That's why your Ludwigia is doing this. That's why it's kind of curling over and got this stuff going on, because your TDS is just pretty high, the pH is pretty high, and the GH and KH are super high. So I would do the thing that you could do, possibly, which actually comes up on the next post right here from Vince Grippa. This is something I would look into if I was in your situation. This is, so I don't know if Vince took my advice or not. I don't know. But this is basically how I pre-filter my water with what's called a push filter. Instead of an RODI unit, I have the standard size filter canisters, and as he says here, sediment and carbon on the front and DI resin on the back. So all the sediment and the carbon is going to get a lot of the stuff out of the water column for a planted tank. And he just made this cool little stand for it out of some wood scraps and stuff. And so the sediment is going to grab a lot of that sediment. The carbon is going to grab a lot of that other stuff. Now, when you need perfectly clean water, I have the third chamber. Mine are all just in line together. But the third chamber is going to be the deionizing resin, which is going to grab anything else out of the water as it goes through. And realistically, this is going to be your best bet here for the Ludwigia situation to kind of balance your water out a little bit and get it set up. This is a great post from... As I even posted right here, yes, queen. I was doing the yes, queen, right? I even posted on that, but this is a great illustration right here of something that all you guys, this is a little bit of just a DIY project, and you can hook this in, send it straight through. You don't have any wastewater from the RODI unit, and this will definitely, I think, help Ollie quite a bit to get his Ludwigia basically correct. And this is also a way for everyone else that has that real liquid rock water to kind of just bring it down a little bit in an affordable way, because these filters, the filter cartridges here, the carbon and the sediment are real cheap. These are really affordable. Now, the DI is a little more expensive, but this whole setup right here, you could basically set this whole thing up for somewhere around $80 or something like that, with the hoses, the fittings, the filters, all that stuff, and just have it ready to go if you need to kind of get things bumped down just a little bit and get it in place where you need it to be, for especially if you've got like mixed plants all in one tank. You can definitely do an all-planted tank with that water, right? You could definitely do it. I would just make sure that if all the plants that you were going to put into each kind of tank, you want to make sure that they're pretty close parameters-wise, so it is easier on you as a keeper, that you're not having to do a ton of extra steps to kind of deal with it. Whoa! What was that? Beatty Brown. Whoa, Beatty Brown came around the corner and was making all sorts of weird noises and freaked me out. What are you doing? That was crazy. We've got a question here from Matthew Hagerdorn. Hagerdorn. There we go. I've been saying that wrong. Sorry, man. Just a quick question. Can you feed microworms to pea puffers as a staple food source, or should I use something else besides snails? Have plenty of them. Pea puffers, I wouldn't be too worried about feeding microworms as a little bit of a staple. That would be fine. But you do definitely need to get snails from them and stuff like that. It is... The one big thing, one of the big reasons I don't have pea puffers is that they are a little bit they're difficult to kind of figure out what's going on. Like if you have like a figure 8 puffer or something like that, it is pretty easy to look in there and be like, oh man, his teeth are getting too long, or there's something going on with them. Whereas the pea puffers, here in my wicked old age, they're just so small, and they, I got big tanks and they have a tendency to hide out. But I am considering doing another posse of like green spot puffers or something like that. But that's just a consideration I have, and I'm not sure. But hopefully we'll see some cool stuff in Germany, maybe. Beatty Brown. You scared me. Lacrimosa says, "Lo, they seem to freak you out a lot." Yeah, there's so many ghosts in this house that, yeah, I'm on my toes often. I get freaked out. Let's see. The fish stuff is really smelly. I like that. No more smelly prime. Yeah, you can. You know, you can skip out on the prime. I use the safe, actually. It gets so much more out of it. What is going on? Are both dogs in here? What are you doing? Yeah, pat. Gotta pat the dog. Well, come here, Benny. Come on. Come on. Up, up. Up, up. No? Okay, you're weird. All right, well, Biddy Brown's here, and she's being weird. All right. Let's see here. So yeah, you can so with the pea puffers, yes, you could use microworms. I wouldn't be that stressed out about that. I mean, we used to feed bloodworms and stuff like that to them many years ago when I used to have them. I wouldn't be too worried, but I would assuredly make sure you're getting snails to them every week. And like I said, because just how small they are, it really is hard to kind of diagnose exactly what's going on with them. So that's just kind of been one of my things with those guys, and just not really keeping them. And from Matthew again saying, by the way, Chillo from Idaho. That's right. Where are you? Where's Mateo? Where's Mateo? Well, there's more than one of you now, Mateo. So there's multiple cellos from Idaho. Roger Martinez wrote in, I set up this 5-gallon tank 2 weeks ago for my girlfriend, and she wants to keep crystal shrimp in it from our local fish store. The pH in our area is 7.6. Is there any tips on making this work for her? Crystal shrimp in a 7.6 is just not a great idea, personally. I would at least get it down to 7, but a 5-gallon tank, I almost never give people the advice to keep shrimp in a tank that small. Can it be done? Yes, it can definitely be done. Is it, even in my own experience, we lost a whole colony of shrimp because, about a gallon of evaporation is pretty easy to have happen in an open top 5-gallon tank and not really notice it, and a 1-gallon evaporation in a 5-gallon tank, because, you put the substrate, you put all the stuff in there, and you probably only have about 3 gallons of water, is going to be hugely... it's going to be big time bad news. And like one day it'll be fine, and then the next day, boom, you can have everything dead. So I wouldn't recommend crystal shrimp just for their cost in a 5-gallon tank. So I would recommend something if you really have to keep shrimp in a tank that small. I would just keep cherry shrimp and not go with the crystal shrimp in a tank that small. You have a much higher chance of success with the cherry shrimp and a much smaller amount of investment. Ed's Fish has a 3.2-gallon beta tank, and the evaporation alone drives him nuts. Yes, that's for sure. James H. says, Joel, tap water, GH0, KH0, pH 6.2. How cheaply and safely raise and keep proper levels? Catappa leaves... Catappa leaves and Wonder Shell. Well, let me find the Can I do this? Where did it go? Maybe I got it here. Maybe I got it. Maybe I don't. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Is that it? This might be it. Paste. Boof. All right. So I just posted into the chat. Click on that. Take you over to the Aquarium Co-op, and you can order some Wonder Shell is what you're looking for. I know that link's probably going to take you to a different part of the Aquarium Co-op. I don't know that I could look it up and get it made into a YouTube-friendly link in the meantime. But Aquarium Co-op sells the Wonder Shell. It's pretty darn cheap. I think they're like $2.99 or $1.99. I don't know. They're pretty cheap. But you can get those and the catappa leaves there. Those would be the two best things that I could give you advice for. They're quite affordable, not that big of a deal, and pretty easy to order up, get it sent to your house, and get your water just up it a little bit. Just get it up a little bit and do it the kind of natural way that doesn't make these big crazy fluctuations. 54 Punchy says if I had tap water at 6.2, I'd be getting me some of the wild betas. Yep, that is one of the good things about having that good water coming out of the tap and it not being that rock water. Is that the pliability of our water here is pretty high, so it's pretty darn good. And Roger Martinez with the follow-up on the 5-gallon. Here's a little post of the 5-gallon. That's pretty much exactly how I would say to set up a 5-gallon. He's got some plants in it. It's got a little driftwood. The rock work's not too crazy. And then a little internal corner filter, which is pretty much the best that you could hope for, especially in a tank that's only 5 gallons. And I think it's pretty much exactly how you do it. But I would steer clear of the crystal shrimp, especially just because of their cost, and the chances are they'll probably, you could probably maintain them to do well for a good amount of time, and then all of a sudden, just boom, a tragedy day could happen. And we've got an interesting post here from Sarah Kanopko. It says, my husband was trying to get a picture of our goldfish begging for food and now has been laughing for a half an hour about this sweet new album cover he made, so I figured I'd shoot it up to the fish fam. And I can see why he's laughing, because I'm laughing too. It's pretty darn good. Thank you for sending that in, Sarah. Yes, that's a great use of... And by the way, I'm not being sarcastic when I say it's a great use of the community page. That is a great way to use the community page. If you got goofy stuff like that, post it up there. I love it. Jamil Muhammad posted us an action shot of the tank that was in the action shot from a couple weeks ago, if you guys remember. As requested, the TV stand tank, there it is right there. This lovely little beta, habitat, which is dope. I'm loving it. The pearl weed, great looking plants. There's some flame moss going in. I'm loving it. Thanks for sending that in. I dig it. Magic 21 Mom sent this in. We got, just wanted to share a pic of one of my new mystery snail hatchlings. There's so many that are purple or blue. And I have to admit, I'm pretty jealous of these purple and blue snails. You know what I'm saying? I got all my ram's horns. I didn't even get any blue ones. Luckily, I've got a bunch of good-looking red ones and orange ones, but I didn't even get any blue ones at all these ram's horns. So I have to admit, I'm a little bit jealous of these awesome colored snails, and maybe one of these days, I'll get back into doing some more snail action. At some point, I think. And Ed's Fish says, "Oh yeah, I remember. Nice little tank. Yeah, I'm loving this little tank. This to those of you out there that may or may not have a beta tank, this is a great way to set up a beta tank. This is just like, yeah, here you go, beta tank. It's growing in nice. It's being well maintained. It's a great little space for him to swim around and not stick him in a jar or something like that." From earlier today, Lena Men sent in. Finally, the hoodie arrived after being stuck in customs for almost 4 weeks. And I am sorry that this got stuck in customs for 4 weeks. I didn't even know that could happen or would happen, or even anybody would think that that's something that should happen. But Lena, I am stoked that you finally got your hoodie. I really hope that you like it. And anybody else out there that wants to order a hoodie, you can at any point in time if you like. Feel free. And but yeah, I'm super stoked that it finally got in there and that you finally got it. That's crazy that it was in customs for so long. That's wild. Ashley Taylor, he sent in what do we got here? You inspired me so much last week. I thought it'd be a good idea to also flood the room. Thankfully, only children and men come in here. Oh man, those of you that've been following along know that I've flooded twice last week, like a Yahoo. Just like, oh, let me leave this water running. Like, is it gonna fill up? Yeah, it's gonna fill up. And I don't have my automatic drains installed yet. But those are going to be going in this year, and hopefully I'll be able to share those with you guys. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. I might have to get a full-time job somewhere. I don't know. That might have to happen. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see, my friends. We've got a lot of people viewing today, but a bunch of people got bored and they left. But not Daryl Dimer. He's throwing down a $10 super chat, my guy. He's throwing down a $10 super chat. He doesn't even have a question on it or anything. Thank you very much, Daryl. Thank you for throwing down into the tip jar. I totally appreciate it, my man. Like I said, it all goes back into making shows and doing shows for you guys and stuff. So with you guys contributing, I'll be able to keep doing it. Michael Moncourt sent in during the show. Look at this. These both came in during the show. These came in during the show today, and I normally don't do the ones that come in during the show. But as I mentioned, I accidentally hit the button and had to reload the page. Michael says, some fun this week. My canister filter's valve sprung a leak, and the replacement part was going to take 3 days to arrive from Amazon, so my wife and I set up the world's stupidest sump. The canister filter is in a bucket, which would fill up with water in 3 or 4 hours, and I put the pump I use for water changes in the bucket and routed it to the top of the tank. So every 3 hours, one of us turned on the pump to empty the bucket. Fortunately, the new valve arrived yesterday, and it's back to normal. So you'd have to, like, every 3 hours, like, go turn it on, or it was going to overflow? Man, I would have considered getting a same-day float valve or something sent. But that's hardcore, man. That's hardcore, Michael. I appreciate it. Like, I appreciate that. That's some hard work. You got to pay attention to this thing every 3 hours. There's a lot going into that. That's for sure, right? All right, guys. Well, those are the Patreons from this week. We have our video segment in from this week, and we've got a couple minutes left here to probably just answer some random questions, do some jibber-jabbering, and whatnot. But I feel like we had a good pace to the show today, and we might just getting to the we might just be getting to the end. Gary B says, I really like this Patreon interaction. Kind of cool. Yeah. The Patreon has a community page on it where you guys get to post pictures, long form questions. You can put in your water parameters, things that are going on. So it is a great way to actually have an interaction with this, with the Patreonized people, that you're able to send in some really detailed questions, or just project updates, or successes, or maybe even failures or anything like that. So I think it's really interesting. It is difficult to sometimes stand out in the chat and whatnot. Those of you out there that are like, I can't afford to be a patronizer, I can't afford to super chat, any of that kind of stuff, you can always email me at joel@darkstararts.com. That is a free way of doing it, and supporting is free also. You guys can always share the videos out there, hit the like, do the subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And if you think that gets overlooked, I certainly don't overlook it. I certainly appreciate it 100%. And that really costs nothing. Like, that's stuff that you guys can just share out there. Just do it, and it doesn't really cost nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I realistically am starting to feel kind of tired now. I realize that I might not be back to 100% because I'm just kind of starting to wear down, which is weird, but that's the reality of a Friday. Number one thing to do while lurking: barbecue burgers and brats and eat them. Smoking meat, hashtag fish fam. Yeah, that's pretty much the best thing that you could do. That's pretty much the best thing you could do while listening to the show. Get some barbecue going and get some brats and all that. All right. Well, it looks like all of our moderators left except for Dan. Dan's the last one there. Gary B says it's very nice as well, offering up the email option instead of Patreon. You're a good dude. I support, though. I need to take advantage of posting on the community page again. Yeah, Gary. Yeah. You know, I do my best to be all inclusive. Like, you know, I've had some people that have tried to criticize me in regards to the fact that they're like, oh, you talk about the Patreon and you talk about this and you talk about that and blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, cool. You have an opinion right now, and it seems like your opinion's coming from you being angry. So sorry, you know, but it's the nature of the thing. It costs me at the very least time to show up and do the show, right? So, you know, if it's something that people don't want to fund, okay. If it's something that people do want to fund, okay. But yeah, like I said, I've tried to make it open so that, you know, for instance, if somebody's like 15 and they're like, look, man, I can't super chat, but I want to be heard. Hey, you can type out a nice email. You can send it to me. That's free. You know, or if you are somebody that's like, dude, this is worth $5 to me a month, and I want to support somebody who's a low rung creator but has been on here for a really long time, then that's awesome too. You know, so you know, it's just a reality of the world. I think Jordan Peterson said it better than I think I ever probably could. And he said it before me, so even if I did try to say that I came up with it, but it basically boiled down to, you know, typically the kind of people who yell at me or whatever are the kind of people that like no one's how did he say it? He said, like, no one's buying what you're producing, basically. Like, you know, so you have a thing that you're doing and nobody wants to support you, and so now you're just going to go out and start yelling at other people that are being supported, right? Which is really going to do nothing for the workflow of that person that is, like, yelling at other people. Like, it's not going to make their show any better or the thing that they do any better. It's just going to make them have lashed out, which it seems like a giant waste of time to me. But, you know, honestly, I try to support as many people as I can too. I think I support like 12 Patreons or 13 or something like that. Obviously I don't do like $1,000 a month or anything like that, but I really try to do the best I can to support other people and stuff. And, you know, I feel like it's a good thing, you know, so I don't know. What do we got going on here? I was trying to catch up because I got rambling. I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm kind of wearing down, so I might be the end of the show today. Might be getting up to the end of the show. I'm trying to answer a couple of things. Oleg says, I can't sleep well, so watching you, Joel, streaming. It's 2:45 a.m. in the Ukraine. Hey, man, you got to get some sleep. It's 2:45. That's just about time you got to get to going to bed. Karen Pepe says, I love your show. I appreciate your time and the knowledge you share. Well, thank you. Groomer Girl says, live streams are perfect for insomnia. Yeah. Oh, Barbara Jackson sent me an email. Oh, that's right. Barbara Jackson did send me an email. I very much appreciate it, Barbara. That was actually very, very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Fishy Mailman's asking weekend videos. Yes, there's a Saturday video is already uploaded. It might even have closed captions by now. But yeah, Saturday there is a video, and maybe Sunday. I'm about halfway through editing some more chicken nonsense and garden nonsense. So there might be a garden thing on Sunday, but otherwise we'll be back on Monday for sure. Tuesday's a real fish talk, and Wednesday, and then I'll be going out of town, and there will be some short videos coming out while I'm gone. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how all that works out. But hopefully everybody out there has a fantastic weekend. Barbara, my weekend is a little bit better just from having gotten your email. Thank you. And hopefully everybody out there has a great time. Don't go shooting off any fireworks. That'd be crazy. Be responsible, but have a good time. 1 Minute Aquarius says, I'm organizing my fish room. Without you, I don't think it would have been possible. I'm almost done. Thank you. Oh, right on. Digging it. Fishy Mailman says, I like nonsense. I like nonsense, too. So there'll probably be some more garden videos over the weekend, or maybe on Sunday. I don't know. Hopefully I can get there. It's like sort of halfway. It's sort of halfway, edited, so we'll see where I can get and where I can get at it. But there is a for sure fish tank video coming out at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So that one is done for sure. So there will be a weekend edition. What is this? What is going on over here? Okay. Well, if you guys like this stream, go ahead and share it out. It really is a call to action. If you guys got to share it out. It's just YouTube has set it all up new. And also, before I head out of here, I want to say thanks to the plethora of super chatters today. It's looking like a pretty big lineup here. Danny's Aquariums, Alvin Alejo, Rumbust, Ashley Taylor, 54 Punchy, Priscilla, MK Art, Rumbust, Steve Foy, twice Steve Foy, Jeff Rose Fish Keeping, Vexing Cat, JJ Skinner, Hermes Borgnano, Megan Ness, and Daryl Dimer. Thank you very much, you guys. I appreciate all your super chat contributions. To all the Patreons, my hat's off to you guys. Otherwise, I'd be, I don't know, probably rewiring commercial buildings or something. Who knows? I don't know what I'd be doing. Be doing something. So hopefully you all have a great weekend. Thanks to all the super chatters. Thanks to all the contributors. Thanks to all the chatters. Thanks to all the super fun. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. Like I said, I'll have some weekend videos for you. So turn on the notifications if you don't have them turned on. And as I said, YouTube is changing things. So you got to be on the ball. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what else to do than to say, hey, we have to be on the ball because they are changing how YouTube works. So we got to keep swinging with it and swinging for the fences. And definitely got to get, we got to grow the army here or whatever y'all's called. The notification squads or I don't know. The Oceaneers. That's how we do it here. We do the Oceaneers. Baby Aquarium with the $1.99 super chat to keep going on YouTube. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm still going to be here. It just would be one of those things. It might be super limited. But thank you, guys. I love you lots. Love your brothers. Love your fellow humans. Have a good time. Take care of your fish. Don't forget to feed them like some kind of nice little tasty treat this weekend. And I'll holler at y'all later. We're CJ Black. Have you seen this button?